Deep down in my heart, I'm ethnocentric, which means I think my race is the superior one.
He's telling his classmate room. This is, black children, white children, Mexican children, Latinos. And he's in there having some type of discussion. And he went on to say that his race is the superior race.
He said he's something centric. I didn't catch it, but
he's ethnocentric.
Ethnocentric. So he said, I believe that my race is superior. Holy hell. This is a hell of a conversation to be having with some kids. I'm gonna start there. This is not. I don't understand why this. To hell with the environment. This is not a conversation to be having with kids. Have it with a grown ass man. See how he feel about it. About what I'm saying, your ethnocentric shit. Say it to a grown ass adult, and then have the conversation. Not with no children that you are above and are teaching. Out of bounds. He good. He was fired, motherfuckers. We were good.
So ethnocentric. I have to look into that word. Maybe you can do that for us.
Hey, look. So white is better than all.
No, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Hey,
I think everybody thinks that. They're just not honest about
hey,
it.
I'm not racist though. I like all types of kinds.
Did I say I don't like people?
People only think
Wait,
that.
so you said you are what? You are
You
racist?
saying you're like
You're
I think
racist?
everybody's a racist. At
I
that
looked it
level.
up. Ethnocentric is evaluating others, peoples, and cultures according to the standards of one's own culture. Here we are.
Okay. And we like to do something over here a lot of times where we call it in bounds or out of bounds, right? So is he out of bounds? Is he out? Because like he said, and he went on to say at the end there that they say, are you racist? This and that. And he said, well, I think everybody is a little bit, right? Because we got to understand, you got to break down the word race itself, racism. We are all in a race. Each group is in a race to the top.
Yes.
And that don't mean you hate any other group. If we all lining up to run the 100-yard dash, I don't hate the man next to me. No. But I'm trying to get to the finish line first.
Straight like that.
Right? So we got to understand.
Seriously. So again, he going there. He definitely he a little wild for the topic, but I think only way he's out of bounds is because he's talking to children. But looking at the definition of the word, I don't see anything wrong with it. Like Gavin touched on, we all in a race trying to compete against each other. It's healthy competition. Me and Gavin have a healthy competition amongst each other. You're supposed to have healthy competition. We shouldn't shun it. But talking to the kids about it I think it's out of bounds. And here we go. Why does he think his culture is superior? And via the definition, it's saying that being ethnocentric is simply observing other people's cultures and then observing your own. And our culture is all types of fucked up. There we go. Kill the culture. Our culture is shot out. That's why he said it's an observation. He said, I observed my culture and I have observed yours. I say we superior. And like I said, he just need to be having this conversation with an adult. That's
there
it.
There you go. So there we go. That's the only thing out of bounds about it. It's like, look, this is a conversation worth having. Just you can't be talking to my child about this shit, right? This will get you accosted. So you don't want to be doing this.
No.
All right. So we got my man, Mr. Fowler. He says they wasn't going to fire him at first. It wasn't until public backlash they received that they fired him, which is like everything else.
That's right? How it goes. That's how it goes. If they can sweep it under the rug, they will, Fowler. They will. But when it comes out on YouTube and too many people see it, now they got to do something. You know what I mean? And here's the deal. He ain't unemployed. he gonna go down the street and get a job at the next school. That also how this goes.
Yeah, we just had the principal on here. We did a show a few months ago where he assaulted an autistic kid, right? The school principal assaulted the kid, and he didn't lose his job until after public backlash. And then he went down the road and got another job. Literally within days or weeks. So there we are. He may not be completely out of bounds for what he's saying. It's just about who he's having this conversation with. Is where he getting out of bounds. Because if he was sitting there talking to me and Willie about this, I don't think he would be even comfortable saying that out of his mouth.
My point exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So me and Willie sitting in front of this man. I'm gonna go on and say I ain't even the betting man, but I'm willing to probably bet everything I got. He ain't gonna be willing to have that conversation. He won't even see what I'm saying. But he feels superior and dominant over these kids, and he's much willing to have this conversation.
There you go.
Wow.
What you think, Banger?
I never heard of that term, man.
Yep, ethnocentric is evaluating other peoples and cultures according to the standards of one's own culture. So it's simply observing other people's culture and then holding it to the standard of your own. And via that observation, he says his culture, his people is superior. What do you think? Based on that observation, do you think he's out of bounds for saying, I have observed other cultures. I observed whatever this culture, the black culture, and I know the standards of my own culture, and he feels his culture is superior. What do you think?
I mean, I don't think that conversation needs to go down with a student.
There we go.
Because if you go to an institution, you have to follow that standard. Whether what I just seen as far as a public, private, and homeschool, apparently that's something different. But if he's a leader in that, you have to follow the standards based under that. Now, personally, you can feel the way you feel. But when it comes to standards as far as institution, you have to go by what that state or the one higher than you feel, unless you organize the school.
I agree.
So I completely feel he's out of bounds if he's going in at it with a student. However, he's allowed to. I think he's allowed. Honestly, you can bring some type of knowledge to it and prove that it's superior, but it's how you deliver now. You got to watch what you say and how you do things when you dishing out information, because we've been told the lies along our way growing up in the educational system, and they've been painted a certain way.
I think you're right, Banger. You touched on what me and Gav touched on. That was that he was having it with the wrong audience. That's all. He's having it with the wrong audience. But I think it's a heck of a discussion to have. God knows I love to have it. And my ultimate point of view is that our current culture in its current state is shot out. Because it's way too accepting to kill one another, and I base it simply off of that. Our culture shot out because way too acceptable to kill one another.
So what he's saying, for our fellow black folks, is it one thing to take this, be offended, be out here ready to march and fucking signs and all that bullshit, or is that a moment for us to look in the mirror and have some self-accountability and try to fucking level up and move our culture forward? Or is it time to fucking keep running the Victim Olympics? I mean, shit, we got to figure it out. Can't keep sitting here running the Victim Olympics. That just ain't a thing.
That's it. Straight up. The greatest form of revenge. Present the world, present people with your best version of you. That's the best revenge you can have. Somebody talking down on you, like if you feel as if this man is putting down your culture, make the change. Do something about it. Like Gavin said, stop being in the Victim Olympics. Oh, I'm hurt. I'm offended. Sound like a hoe. Do something about it.
You said you are racist.
I did. Yeah, I'm trying to be honest.
Yes, I'm racist.
No, I'm not saying it again. I've said it enough.
So you're
I
racist.
think I should like so you stop speaking.
Yes, you said
Put your phone up.
I respected you.
I'm
I
putting the
actually
phone up.
respected you for a while, but like
I'm putting the
now
phone up.
I don't even got no more respect for you.
Put it up.
Yeah, for real. I don't think I got respect for him no more, bro.
You know, you should have
They
more
say
respect. I'm
The
honest.
kid said, I don't think I got respect for him no more. He said, I think you should have more respect because I'm being honest.
He talking to the wrong age group. He needed to
And there we go. Because there we go. The more he talked, like I said, I don't have a problem with the talking points at all.
Nope.
This man was before me. We could talk about this shit ad nauseum. But talking to somebody's children is how you get accosted.
Yes, because he's trying. If you ask me, this is a form of indoctrination. You are an educator. You are a teacher. These children, these pupils are tasked with listening and obeying you. You out of bounds. You out of bounds. Have this conversation with some adults, and it'll be totally different. This is like an abuse of power and authority. He's indoctrinating these kids. I'm superior. He way out of bounds. The more I look into it, because you put some adults there, some adult men, and like Cav said, there ain't no way he ain't talking like he's not about to sit there and tell another man, I think you should respect me more. The violence, the tension, and the underlying level of violence is going to elevate so fast in that room. You see what I mean? He's the only reason he's out of bounds because he's talking to kids. And here we go. We got to be more into and more in tune with what our kids are, what they're taking in at school, what they're being exposed to in the classrooms. You know, these are our children. Our children, it sounds cliche, sound like a Michael Jackson song, but the children are the future. There is no way around it. Our goofy ass is going to get old and die. And these children shall inherit the earth. We got to make sure they ain't all fucked up and cattywampus. This is what we are. This is what we are charged with. We must make sure, because this is wild. If I knew my kids was having a conversation like this with a teacher, you see what I'm saying? I probably end up acting out of character. So yeah, we gotta make sure this stuff stops. It's bad.
Oh, they responded perfect. They were taught well from some pretty good upbringing. For them not to be, they could have been really out of line in the belligerent. Hell, they could have jumped them.
That, you know what? There you go, Banger. That went over my head. You right. These kids nowadays, that teacher had to know who he's talking to. Yeah, we tripping, Banger. Yeah, you said that too. You know what I'm saying? Some of these kids, you know what I'm saying, growing up deep in the projects. Yeah, go ahead.
And I feel like, you know, we got to give a shout out to who's raising them.
There you go. Yeah, because they did behave, and they didn't lash out. You right, Banger. And they did, and they were calm. He said, I don't think I respect you no more. He kept it cool. He voiced his opinion. I definitely appreciate his pushback. Something. He a kid. He shouldn't be in that situation. But nonetheless, you right, Banger.
All right, here we go. I remember being in school, and we had a science teacher back when we was in school. I ain't gonna say no names. And she was telling us, I may have been in fucking like 9th grade. I remember her telling us that she believed in evolution. She did not believe in the Bible and all. She was telling us this in the middle of the class and damn near like this, trying to indoctrinate us. And you know me, I'm ignorant to it all. But there were kids in there saying, well, I'm a Christian, I'm this and that. And she trying to debunk the Bible in the classroom.
I remember I was in
Was
there.
you in there, Banger?
Yes.
Man, that's a real thing. Swear to God.
Holy hell.
We can't put the name out there, but she knows who she is.
You remember that? So she was in the classroom talking about evolution, how we came from monkeys. And
that was my girl, man.
I mean, she was cool, but that day she was on some shit.
That's funny.
All right, so were we so ignorant to the point where we didn't go home and tell our parents, and our parents were so fucking ignorant they weren't gonna do shit?
That is right. Yo, we had bang out arguments in class about this. I remember science class.
You shouldn't be talking to nobody kids about even something like that.
There you go. And here's the thing: this particular teacher didn't come off as offensive or nothing. She was, but but she was so far out of bounds it ain't even funny.
Because like Banger said, there's a curriculum. You can't be in here giving your personal experiences and points of views. You have to teach the curriculum, and you cannot be doing indoctrinating. So
and that's the problem we having right now with a lot of society and these kids being exposed to something. Like I said, you gotta. I call it the triple threat. One, they could just leave this damn school and start a riot. The next, they could have, like I said, they could get aggressive, fight, or have them parents in there. You know, those are three things that you go run into. But apparently, like with this, you got kids who coming off carrying themselves the right way to deal with an adult, and that come from the home, the structure of the home. You know what I'm saying? That, and it's sad that they got to be that way, but I guarantee with the way a lot of motherhood has changed and evolved from, it could be straight ratchetness, but it's not no more. You got a lot of mothers communicating with their children the most positive way because, hey, you need to talk yourself out of some things. You will be shot. And they don't want to see their kids shot, killed, left there like a fucking raccoon or deer.
yeah,
They don't want to see that. So with these kids being educated enough to say, you know, I ain't gonna respect you for that. That ain't no man saying that, and I ain't saying we can't. I ain't saying we can't guide that. That's a woman, because they like to be petty and hit all the damn points.
there you go.
So you know what I'm saying? Them kids is school right, is what I'm saying.
And there you go. He said Malcolm X said, only a damn fool sends their children to be taught by the enemy. So,
yes.
So before we switch gears, I guess we hit on it. So the topic was public versus private versus home, you know, and ideally I would think everybody would want to teach their kids, you know, but obviously we got shit to do in the world. We all ain't fortunate enough. So then the next best option would be send your kid to private school, right? And, you know, the last thing you want to do these days is have to send your kid to public school. But at the end of the day, I don't give a damn where you sending them. Any three of these options, if you ain't instilling some shit at home. So I don't care if you got a tutor teaching them homeschool or whatever you got. If you yourself and you know, you, the woman, the mom, the dad, in the family structure ain't teaching some goddamn morals and values, then, you know, I don't care where you send your kid to school. But like you said, you roll the dice with some of these public schools, and that's for sure.
There you go. You got that is the first part. We got to start teaching at home, asking our kids what they learned, you know, in school, and be able to give some insight on that. We must, and just teach overall at home. I take a lot of pride in being able to do that, but that comes from knowing what we missed out on growing up. But yeah, definitely got to be more into that. That's holy shit, that's nuts.
I will say,
go ahead, Banger.
I'm a big fan of homeschool, and one other thing I want to say, and I guess this might could take us down a rabbit hole, but check this. How is it that I see that it's public school versus the private? In homeschool, I don't have a degree. I don't have a bachelor degree or master degree. So there's a contradiction between the school, because you allow me to teach this kid off of the curriculum that this skilled teacher with this high advanced, high price piece of paper that they call a degree is able to teach. It contradicts what you teaching the kid. How you gonna teach a kid that, hey, you need to go and get this solid education? But if I got the time, which I do, and the income, which I do, to stay home and homeschool my kid, it defeats the purpose of what they teaching in school, because I could teach you more at home. I could advance your curriculum.
Yeah, if you got, like you said, you got to have that freedom, and that's a lot of people. And that's very rare, extremely rare that a mom or a dad, especially you got a single mom, there's no single mom out there that has got the time with two or more kids to be trying to homeschool and work enough to to provide. So yeah, that's a very rare position to be in. For sure.
It's difficult, but I'll say with culture, that's where it intertwines because I know a few Nigerians, I know a few people in other countries, and I'm like, well, how do you educate your kid with this and that? And then they like, well, you can advance this 7-year-old instead of putting them in all types of other things they call extracurriculars. You don't always need all these sports. You got a brain that can grow. You got people graduating high school at 12 because they've been reading since they were 4 and understanding.
There you go.
That's home school. You can teach a kid that, but the structure's gone. These kids aren't going to like through anything where they can advance, and I'm not knocking it. It's just the truth. You wouldn't hear it or see about it. They always put them on Oprah. This kid graduated at 8 years old. Now they got a full scholarship to Idaho University.
There you go. It's possible. It's possible.
It's highly possible. And they be black too, like us.
Our kids are what we put in them, man. It goes a long way. It goes a very long way. Trust me, minimum. Just be involved. Be involved as much as you can. Something, anything. But yeah, he touching on it. These kids, you can graduate. And what was that one show, Smart Guy, from back in the day? I had my kids watching, where the little kid was in high school. He should have been in damn near elementary school, but he in high school on his way to college, and he's smarter than everybody because he put in the time. And that could be any kid. Children are what you instill in them. That I promise you. But yeah, definitely got to do better with that.